हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। आज का टॉपिक है कंट्रोल एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन। वीडियो स्टार्ट करने से पहले चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए और बेल आइकन को प्रेस कर दीजिए ताकि आगे आने वाले वीडियोस का नोटिफिकेशन आपको टाइमली मिल सके। तो वीडियो को स्टार्ट करते हैं। Control and coordination. As you know, the functions of the organs or organ systems in our body must be coordinated to maintain homeostasis. Coordination is the process through which two or more organs interact and complement the functions of one another. In our body, the neural system and the endocrine system jointly coordinate and integrate all the activities of the organs so that they function in a synchronized fashion. The neural system provides an organized network of point to point connections for a quick coordination. The endocrine system provides chemical integration through hormones. Neuron as structural and functional unit of neural system. All information from our environment is detected by the specialized tips of some nerve cells. These receptors are usually located in our sense organs such as the inner ear, the nose, the tongue, and so on. So, gustatory receptors will detect taste while olfactory receptors will detect smell. The information acquired at the end of the dendritic tip of a nerve cell sets off a chemical reaction that creates an electrical impulse. This impulse travels from the dendrite to the cell body and then along the axon to its end. At the end of the axon, the electrical impulse sets off the release of some chemicals. These chemicals cross the gap or synapse and start a similar electrical impulse in a dendrite of the next neuron. This is a general scheme of how nervous impulses travel in the body. A similar synapse finally allows delivery of such impulses from neurons to other cells, such as muscle cells or gland. Human neural system. Human neural system consists of two parts: central neural system and the peripheral neural system. The CNS consists of the brain and spinal cord. The brain can be divided into three major parts: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. The forebrain consists of cerebrum, thalamus, and hypothalamus. The cerebrum is longitudinally divided into two halves that are connected by the corpus callosum. A very important part of the forebrain called hypothalamus controls the body temperature, eating, and drinking. Inner parts of cerebral hemispheres and a group of associated deep structures form a complex structure called limbic system, which is concerned with olfaction, automatic responses, regulation of sexual behavior, expression of emotional reactions, and motivation. The midbrain receives and integrates visual, tactile, and auditory inputs. The hindbrain comprises pons, cerebellum, and medulla. The cerebellum integrates information received from the semicircular canals of the ear and the auditory system. The medulla contains centers which control respiration, cardiovascular reflexes, and gastric secretions. Cones consist of fiber tracts that interconnect different regions of the brain. The entire process of involuntary response to a peripheral nervous stimulation is called reflex action. Information regarding changes in the environment is received by the CNS through the sensory organs, which are processed and analyzed. Signals are then sent for necessary adjustments. Reflex action and reflex arc. Experienced a sudden withdrawal of a body part which comes in contact with objects that are extremely hot, cold, pointed, or animals that are scary or poisonous. The entire process of response to a peripheral nervous stimulation that occurs involuntarily, that is, without conscious effort or thought, and requires the involvement of a part of the central nervous system is called a reflex action. The reflex pathway comprises at least one different neuron receptor and one efferent effector or exciter neuron appropriately arranged in a series. The afferent neuron receives signal from a sensory organ and transmits the impulse via a dorsal nerve root into the CNS. The efferent neuron then carries signals from CNS to the effector. The stimulus and response thus forms a reflex arc as shown below in the knee jerk reflex. Human endocrine system. The endocrine glands and hormone producing diffused tissues or cells located in different parts of our body constitute the endocrine system. Pituitary, pineal, thyroid, adrenal, pancreas, parathyroid, thymus, and gonads are the organized endocrine bodies in our body. In addition to these, some other organs, example gastrointestinal tract, liver, kidney, heart, also produce hormones. A brief account of the structure and functions of all major endocrine glands and hypothalamus of the human body is given in the following sections. Let us examine some examples to understand how hormones help in coordinated growth. We have all seen salt packets which say iodized salt or enriched with iodine. Why is it important for us to have iodized salt in our diet? Iodine is necessary for the thyroid gland to make thyroxine hormone. Thyroxine regulates carbohydrate, protein, and fat metabolism in the body so as to provide the best balance for growth. Iodine is essential for the synthesis of thyroxine. In case iodine is deficient in our diet, there is a possibility that we might suffer from goiter, one of the symptoms in the disease as a swollen neck. Sometimes we come across people who are either very short or extremely tall. Have you ever wondered how this happens? Growth hormone is one of the hormones secreted by the pituitary. As its name indicates, growth hormone regulates growth and development of the body. If there is a deficiency of this hormone in childhood, it leads to dwarfism. You must have noticed many dramatic changes in your appearance as well as that of your friends as you approached 10 to 12 years of age. These changes associated with puberty are because of the secretion of testosterone in males and estrogen in females. Do you know anyone in your family or friends who has been advised by the doctor to take less sugar in their diet because they are suffering from diabetes? As a treatment, they might be taking injections of insulin. This is a hormone which is produced by the pancreas and helps in regulating blood sugar levels. If it is not secreted in proper amounts, the sugar level in the body rises, causing many harmful effects. Adrenaline is secreted directly into the blood and carried to different parts of the body. The target organs or the specific tissues on which it acts include the heart. As a result, the heart beats faster, resulting in supply of more oxygen to our muscles. The blood to the digestive system and skin is reduced due to contraction of muscles around small arteries in these organs. This diverts the blood to our skeletal muscles. The breathing rate also increases because of the contractions of the diaphragm and the rib muscles. All these responses together enable the animal body to be ready to deal with the situation. Such animal hormones are part of the endocrine system, which constitutes a second way of control and coordination in our body. If it is so important that hormones should be secreted in precise quantities, we need a mechanism through which this is done. The timing and amount of hormone released are regulated by feedback mechanisms. For example, if the sugar levels in blood rise, they are detected by the cells of the pancreas which respond by producing more insulin. As the blood sugar level falls, insulin secretion is reduced. Hormones of heart, kidney, and gastrointestinal tract. Now you know about the endocrine glands and their hormones. However, as mentioned earlier, hormones are also secreted by some tissues which are not endocrine glands. For example, the atrial wall of our heart secretes a very important peptide hormone called atrial natriuretic factor, which decreases blood pressure. When blood pressure is increased, ANF is secreted, which causes dilation of the blood vessels. This reduces the blood pressure. Cellular cells of kidney produce a peptide hormone called which stimulates erythropoiesis formation of RBC. Endocrine cells present in different parts of gastrointestinal tract secrete four major peptide hormones, namely gastrin secretion and gastric inhibitory peptide. Gastrin acts on the gastric glands and stimulates the secretion of hydrochloric acid and pepsinogen. Secretion acts on the exocrine pancreas and stimulates secretion of water and Bicarbonate ions. CCK acts on both pancreas and gallbladder and stimulates the secretion of pancreatic enzymes and bile juice, respectively. GIP inhibits gastric secretion and motility. Several other non endocrine tissues secrete hormones called growth factors. These factors are essential for the normal growth of tissues and their repairing or regeneration. Mechanism of hormone action. Hormones produce their effects on target tissues by binding to specific proteins called hormone receptors located in the target tissues only. Hormone receptors present on the cell membrane of the target cells are called membrane bound receptors, and the receptors present inside the target cell are called intracellular receptors, mostly nuclear receptors. Binding of a hormone to its receptor leads to the formation of hormone receptor complex. Each receptor is specific to one hormone only, and hence receptors are specific. Hormone receptor complex formation leads to certain biochemical changes in the target tissue. Tissue metabolism and hence physiological functions are regulated by hormones. On the basis of their chemical nature, hormones can be divided into groups: peptide, polypeptide, protein hormones. Example: insulin, glucagon, pituitary hormones, hypothalamic hormones, etc. Steroids. Example: cortisol, testosterone, estradiol, and progesterone. Iodothyronins, thyroid hormones, amino acid derivatives. Example: epinephrine. Hormones which interact with membrane bound receptors normally do not enter the target cell but generate second messengers, which in turn regulate cellular metabolism. Hormones which interact with intracellular receptors mostly regulate gene expression or chromosome function by the interaction of hormone receptor complex with the genome. Cumulative biochemical actions result in physiological and development effects. तो गाइज ये था आज का टॉपिक। आई होप आपको वीडियो पसंद आई होगी। प्लीज़ इसे लाइक एंड शेयर जरूर कीजिए। थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग।